Good morning. Welcome to Unity Spiritual Center Pflugerville. I'm being very pensive this morning. I opened here, we were talking. And really, I'm envisioning a dialogue, conversation. And what we talk about is monumental. We are not talking about simple day-to-day stuff. We're talking about life-changing things in a spiritual nature. And some of those ideas are really difficult to grasp. And today what I want to do is share some of that reason that myself been struggling for years. How do I do this? How do I reach the point where I really can get those things that they talk about and what Jesus' promises are? And how do we get there? And how do I share that idea with you? And what are we really here to do? Anybody agree? It's kind of like, what am I here? Am I here to suffer? Am I here to do all this stuff? Or am I here to make a difference? So those are the things I've had on my mind and we'll talk about this morning. The major thing here is our thoughts and beliefs create the world we live in. And in my article this week, I used the phrase, our thoughts and beliefs wield extraordinary influence. Now, that's really a word that isn't enough. Because our thoughts and beliefs, period, create our world. Not just wield an extraordinary influence. They do, period. And that is such a difficult concept to understand because it's not part of our everyday world. Last week, there's Thanksgiving. Last week we had this one, okay? What's it? And that is the metaphor and the idea that the caterpillar becomes the butterfly. And it's really a metaphor for the material world and reaching the point where you understand the spiritual world and become entirely different. And the thing we're looking at is, everybody agree a caterpillar is totally different from a butterfly? Now, what does the caterpillar live in? What is their experience? Somebody help me. What's a caterpillar do? It crawls. Okay?
And it eats.
It eats. It chews on leaves, as far as I know. It crawls along the ground. Okay? What is your reaction to caterpillars?
I love them.
I just remember sort of and mouth.
Kind of creepy.
So it is not a comfortable position that they exist in, according to the physical world. It is difficult. It's crawling on your belly. Okay? And all of a sudden, through a process of metamorphosis, I go into a cocoon, I go into a place where I isolate from the world, and I isolate the entity, and it comes out, I don't know, a couple weeks later as a butterfly. Now, what is the butterfly's experience of the world?
Freedom.
Freedom, yes.
Excitement.
It can fly anywhere,
Yeah.
okay? It doesn't munch leaves anymore. As far as I know, it takes 6 nectar from a flower. So what does a flower look like? Pretty. It's a totally different experience. I have legs to hang on to things. I have the opportunity to fly wherever I go. Okay, and I also look pretty to the individual that looks at me. So what is the difference? And can the caterpillar, in its existence and the way it thinks, even understand what it's like to be a butterfly? Do you see? This is what we're faced with. We live in a physical form, and we don't know, we incarnate in this physical form, and as far as we know, the kingdom within, we're told that we are part of the spiritual life, but we have this shell that we are here to live in, to experience the physical world. But who are we really? It's like, who is really the caterpillar? Anybody agree? The caterpillar is innately has the butterfly within it. Does the caterpillar aware of that? Can the caterpillar even, just think about it yourself, can the caterpillar even understand what it's like to be a butterfly? And that's the problem that we're working with, that we don't believe who we really are. And this is what I'm getting at. And Madeline keeps saying, you keep talking about the same thing. Yeah, because I understand that I haven't gotten it yet. Okay, and I know us's are still in the same situation. Because we still keep doing the same thing and keep having the same problems. We still have political issues. We still have people that are this way or that way. We still have people that are sick. We still have people that are wealthy. So there's all this division. Well, how come? Why is that? Because we're looking at things differently and we haven't learned to be the butterfly yet. And some people have gotten a glimpse of it and learned to control their thinking and create different things. But when I'm in the physical form, I have a hard time understanding what it's like to create the spiritual form or happiness and joy that I'm promised. Okay? So yep, we understand. And so I have to blame somebody else. I'm wondering if the caterpillar really blames the next door caterpillar. Okay. And I'm not going to go that far. But I keep looking at, why am I here? Okay, and why would I be here? And what does the Bible tell me? And what is all scriptures as far as I know? Because you go into the Bhagavad Gita and all these other scriptures that all say I'm here to bring through my divine self. And everybody has different words for the divine, but is it all the same idea? Yeah. So the reason we're here is to express who we are. Okay, and we've forgotten to do that because we don't know how to do it because we're still caterpillars. Okay? So the idea is, what am I doing? What can I do to become the butterfly? What can I do to become prosperous? What can I do to become healthy? What can I do to create harmony in the world around me? What can I do? And the other question is, how do I influence others in my world here? Is it by what I speak or is it by what I do? See, so that's what we're dealing with. That's the dialogue that I want to get conversation. Okay? And if you really look at it, and you study the ancient scriptures, if you use that term, and the Old Testament starts off with, it says that God created us in His image. Genesis 1:27. What does it say? And God created us in His image. So do we believe that? See, we're really the butterfly, if I can use that metaphor, but we're in the caterpillar. Okay? Now where am I here? Go again, Adam. See, this is all these words. The words, see that heart with thanksgiving in it. One of the keys to a happy life is called appreciation, praise, thankfulness. Anybody agree? Encouragement. What creates an individual that believes in themselves is somebody telling them how good they are. And I appreciate you, and you're really good at what you do. Okay, all of you have a place. Remember I told you before we started, there was somebody else coming? Did she come? Yeah. See, we all have an energy around us that fits together like a puzzle. And when anybody ever been around folks that don't fit? Okay? So we are energy creators, and we are responsible for creating the energy that we're looking for. So Thanksgiving, words of thanksgiving, words of praise are the key to the whole process. Everybody got it? So what are we celebrating on Thursday? Thanksgiving. Okay. So have you really let go of all the issues? Now, surely you're aware things are changing in the world, yes? Okay, now what's happening? So I'm gonna shut up. What's going on? How come things are changing so dramatically? Number one, would you agree things are changing dramatically? I mean, you can talk about it. We got war, we got peace, we got all kinds. We got things going on. Okay, generally, by the way, the abundance of the universe is increasing. Fewer people are living in poverty. Okay. By the way, the Daily Word for today uses the word abundance, and as far as most, let's call it channeling that comes down from books I've read, Spirit prefers abundance as a word because it has a much bigger feeling to it. Something about prosperity is a little bit money, but abundance is everything. The abundance of spirit. So anyway, I got off track. Well, let's go back.
Abundance could also cover your intelligence.
Intelligence, it's who you are, your ability to do
gifts,
things, your skills. So what are you here for? You're here to share your skills. You're here to share who you are. You're here to share the air conditioning. You're here to share your voice. You're here to share your intelligence. You're here to share who you are. And your part of that is here you are. Now, we have a tendency not to appreciate ourselves. Let me give you an example. Are you ready? Over the last few months, we have had people do this service. Would you agree we've had different messages and they were all really had something to share? And yet each one of those people that have been doing it were fighting all the way. I can't do it. I'll quit. Now, that's a generalization, so I have to be careful with it. But each one of you has something to share with other people. Your message might be completely different. Tommy can cover something different than I would. Okay? Terry has a different voice. Valerie has a different voice. You have a different voice than somebody else. And you have the right, because you're a child of God, to share that. And we allow fear to stop us. Now, I didn't mean to go here, but yeah, we're here. But Tommy.
Aren't you saying that you put a challenge out there
Right now?
to better yourself?
Yeah. But we need somebody to encourage us.
Right.
We need somebody to say,
But you put the challenge out there.
Yeah.
You can do it. You
I
can
am.
do it. You can do it.
I am. See, the key to this whole thing is you're better than you think you are. See, when we sell ourselves short, I'm trying to think of another word rather than child of God. What would that be? You're divine. You're an expression of divinity. You are the energy of divinity. Okay? Which is in every scripture that I'm aware of at some point. Jesus even said, "Know ye not that ye are gods?" That's in the New Testament. Okay. So what we're dealing with, and who are you, and who do you think you are, and how do you present yourself in the world? Now, Jesus presented himself as, here I am, and a humble individual. He didn't go bragging. He just very quietly handled things. Okay? So there's a difference between the egomaniac, narcissist, and the divinity. Okay? I have to do that. But things are changing in the world. We are in a, and I know I bring this up quite a bit, but the more I look at things, certain professions that are considered really, really important are going to go bye-bye because of AI. Everybody got that? Okay, and that's just the unfolding. Now what's that going to do? It's going to free up people's time to be better at what they do. Valerie and I had a conversation. She's in the middle of all this because of her job, but things are changing, and what it's doing is it's challenging us to step forward and be who we really are. So I'm encouraging you to do that. I didn't expect to get this deep into it, but here we are. Okay? So, Madeline, go forward. Okay? According to your faith, let it be done to you. I wanted to use this. Jesus was teaching all this stuff. He was one of the best motivational speakers you ever heard, if you understood what he was saying. And I forgot to take him out, Terry. Okay? Now this quote is from Matthew. I'll find it. Matthew 9:29. And I want to read before and give you a little bit of context, okay? And when he came into the house, the blind man came up to him and asked for healing, okay? So Jesus was in his normal process visiting a congregant, let's use that term, okay? And the blind man, and Jesus said to them, do you believe that I can do this? What was he asking for?
Encouragement.
Faith? Belief? Okay. So what is required first? Believing who you are. You see, when I'm in lack, it's because I believe I deserve lack. Okay. Why? Because I don't believe that the rest is possible. So then, guess what? He says, do you believe that I can do this? They said to him, yes, our Lord. Then he touched their eyes and said, let it be to you according to your faith. What does that last phrase say? According to your faith. Does it mean it's going to happen automatically because he is divine? No. The energy is always there. Because you are, Jesus said, these things I do, you shall do, and even greater things. Taking this all together, I'm trying to be simple. So you tie all this together. Jesus said, these things I do, you shall do, even greater things. And then he said, and he healed the blind people, asking them first, can you believe? And they said, yep. And so he took them at their word, and so who healed the blind man? You see the question? Because literally they healed because of the energy that they stepped into. So where am I? How come I had to have a tooth pulled? Okay? I mean, let's get real practical. Okay? And what is my general upset is to blame somebody else. Okay? How do you blame somebody for an infected tooth? I don't know. But it was, I didn't take care of myself, or the past dentist didn't find it, and all kinds of stuff. And that's real world stuff. And I'm sure none of you are blaming anybody for anything, but that's only me, okay?
I probably gave you the wrong food to eat.
But you see, our human nature is to immediately go to the caterpillar thinking, which is keeping us in the form that we are. Okay, so, and then it says, here's the key, love one another. So, we gotta go up here. Where'd it go? Anyway. Love one another, John 13:34. Oh, that's what happened. I went to the wrong place. A new command. So Jesus starts this, a new command, which means here's a new idea, guys. Everybody got it? Now the world has taught us what? We have to be careful, we have to fight back, we have to get ready to hate, we have to get ready to reject things and get annoyed. Is that true? Okay, I'm general, but I don't know.
No.
And then it says, I give you that you love one another, just as I have loved you, that you also may love one another. Okay? And he is saying that is the key to everything. And so we know, or at least we're told, the energy of God is love. And how do you define love? Okay? And love is in the words of appreciation, love, thank you, aren't you wonderful, go get 'em, girl, you can do it, boy. Okay, all those conversations are the energies that give us love. And no matter who you are, I love you no matter what you do. Try that as a teenager. Anybody ever had teenagers? Okay. So here's the, do you see the difference between the caterpillar thinking and the butterfly? And that's all I want to do is see. And the issue is we're over here and we're so deeply embedded in it that we don't know. So it takes time, it takes work, and there are people that have transcended that process, and some of us take quite a while. It's known as keep going. Okay? So, let me go to the next slide. Yes, comfort.
I'm just looking at the whole thing, and
Good. Yes.
it's the words that came to my mind is that even as Jesus was trying to heal or healing, it also takes the receiver the trust and the courage to be able to say, I am open.
Yes.
I can receive.
We're back to the word choice.
Yes.
Okay? So I have a choice to accept who I am, and which takes heavy belief, because we're told we're the worms of the earth, we're told you'll never amount to anything, we're told all this negative stuff. And when that becomes part of our consciousness, that's difficult to accept who we really are. So it's a change in thinking to understand who I really am. And no matter what I look like, no matter what my disability or anything is, I'm a child of God, which is difficult to take even that word. Okay, so you like, everybody got it? So here I go. Now this came, okay, so you notice I have to use my term. But we have the innate spiritual ability to transform the unseen energies. And what are the unseen energies?
Thoughts.
What?
Thoughts.
What? See, when you think, you create an energy. Science knows that we have transmissions of electrical impulses at a very, very high level of frequency. And we also receive electronic vibration at a high rate of frequency. Okay? So those unseen frequencies, which we have not been trained at, anybody agree? I can't remember my mom and dad saying, listen, you are love energy and everything's wonderful. They were preparing me for the world, and Bobby, don't get your hopes up, all that kind of stuff. So, and God bless them, I probably did the same thing with my kids. Don't tell them that. I guess we were married for a couple of years before we ran into unity. But once we were in unity, we encouraged them, and they're wonderful children. They are really. Excuse me.
It takes wonderful parents to make wonderful children,
Beautiful.
and those that love
It's
us.
the encouragement and the love and looking past what you see. Okay, so we have innate spiritual ability to transform the unseen energies of belief into tangible material outcomes in our physical world of form. Do you understand that? So here I am I'm not saying you're a caterpillar, I'm just trying to understand, help me understand, help you understand that we're in the form And in that form, we're still thinking like a physical being. But yet we're inside, we're a spiritual being that can fly. Wouldn't we need to be able to fly? Can we do it? I don't know. Jesus knew how to walk on water. What did Jesus say? These things I do, ye shall. So honestly, I'm a nut. Okay? And I admit that. And I'm not going to give it up. Okay, so everybody there? Any conversation about that idea? None? It's radical.
Well, I believe that tells us then you say unseen energies of belief into tangible material outcomes. So we know from all of your teachings and everyone else's that thoughts held in mind then come out in form.
Yeah.
So we need to project positive instead of negative.
Yeah.
We need to love instead of hate. We need to appreciate instead of degrade people. And we all need to be one in this world.
Yep. Okay, now, where I want to go now, thank you, MJ.
You're welcome.
Where I want to go now is we're going into Thanksgiving. Okay? There are counter energies everywhere. And one of the things we're accepting is that we transmit energies to those around us. Everybody okay?
Yeah.
So that it's up to us what we're transmitting. And anybody stop and think about what's being transmitted on the TV and on the radio and on social media. Is it Thanksgiving and love, or is it other things? So it is influencing us. And it's time for us to be safe. So the key to this is take care of yourself. One of the big issues in the spiritual community, especially with ministers and prayer chaplains and people that support you, is taking care of themselves, yourself. We must take time to meditate. We must take time to isolate and forgive ourselves, okay? And but that's also the spiritual path of understanding that we need to slow down once in a while. It doesn't have to be done every day perfectly in our ways. Okay, all it has to be is with love. So it takes time to learn how to do that, to slow down. Valerie, a couple months ago, when she was talking about breathing. So there are breathing exercises to help us. Madeline has had tapping workshops here, and tapping lets things go. Okay? Meditation, spending 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes a day, silent. Now, I'm not saying that's easy, but it's part of the process of taking care of yourself. See, innately, you have the unseen energies, and we don't believe it. So, and I've gotten to the point, and this is annoying as heck, but when I have a problem, it's nobody's problem other than mine. So, and it takes me a while. Sometimes I need to be hit 4 or 5 times before I say, oh, okay, I better sit down, shut up, and be quiet. Because I'm allowing something on the outside of me to affect me. I have been through, anybody been through the politics recently? Doesn't matter where you are, it's affected you in some way. Because somebody feels this way very strongly, you pick up the energies, whatever they are. Okay, Tommy?
Now's the time for forgiveness.
Yeah.
Not only yourself, but people that you're opposite with. I mean, they're just like you. They're God's children. So.
And it's time to send love. It's actually, and I always use the story of Ram Dass. Ram Dass, a lot of you don't. He died recently. Anyway, he is a spiritual leader. And what he used to do was keep what he called a puja table, or a prayer table. And he had several enemies, people that he disliked politically. One was the President of the United States several years ago, and others. And he would come to his table every day, and he had pictures of his enemies on his table, and he would pray for them, which is what Tommy's talking about. Okay, so these are things, the innate spiritual energy creates the world around us. So if we get involved in the energies of the world, what are we creating? We're creating the world the way we're experiencing it, rather than shifting it and becoming part of the energy that's changing the world. Anybody agree the world's changing right now?
Yes.
I believe it's in an uproar because it's letting go of things that aren't necessary. And the truth is coming to the surface. Now, that's my personal belief, okay? Now, I'm not asking you to believe that, but energies always seek the level, always. Okay? So, Thanksgiving, everybody agree? Thanksgiving. What do we do on Thanksgiving? What do you do?
Eat turkey.
Eat turkey, good. What else? About the cooking? Yeah, there's the labor of cooking, which is appreciation. Why do you cook? Because of your appreciation and your cooking is love. It is.
Yes.
It really is. Okay, what else happens?
Sometimes you see people that you
What?
don't see very, sometimes you see
Again.
people that you don't see very
Yeah,
often.
you see family.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sometimes you get introduced to people you don't know. And another member of your family is bringing in as a surprise. Everybody agree?
Is that happening to you?
It's happening to me. So these things, and they are events that are created by our thinking to let go and give thanks. See, it's an automatic thing, but what would happen if we had an attitude of eating Thanksgiving every day? Have I got more here?
No.
It just flashed off. You know, I wanted to say something about the 6 o'clock meditation class every morning. Not class, whatever it is. Though the difference of sitting there and trying to keep calm and quiet, it's so different when people start coming in Zoom and you know, you can just feel the calmness take place when there's like 5 or 6 of us. It's so different.
She's saying every morning on Zoom, we have a morning meditation. And it's quiet. It really is. And you can tell when somebody isn't there.
Yep.
In other words, there's usually 6 of us. Sometimes it's been 2 or 3, and you can feel the difference. So you make a difference just by your very presence, okay? Are we coming on?
I wonder if it's a wind.
Is that your house, Alan?
It's probably the wind. It's,
Well, we used what I was going to use.
Is that your neighbor?
We're good.
that's okay, that's a pretty picture. It's fine. Everything's good.
Oh, that's your house, ain't it, man?
Anything else you do on Thanksgiving? Would you agree you're on your best behavior?
Oh, no.
You're really nice to people.
Oh, no.
I'm talking about normal people are nice. What?
Your last quote is, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. That's your last quote.
And the heart is a metaphor for the subconscious mind. Okay. So it really, out of the mouth comes the heart. So it's all energy. Everybody understand we live in an energy world. And you are energy beings creating the world of energy around us, which is proven now by quantum physics science. And we have a hard time putting the two together, but here we are. Remember, people say science will not go with religion, and here it is, okay? So anyway, I'm pretty well finished. Anybody have anything else? Nobody has any comments? Some of you have.
I have.
Comfort!
I think you're just telling us to stop being the, what do you call it? The one that crawls,
Caterpillar.
the caterpillar. And then be ready and willing, if we can remember who we are, to fly.
Good.
And I also said to myself, okay, one can never go to a doctor unless you are tired of being sick. So maybe I should start remembering who I am so that I can picture that in my little brain and say, yeah, comfort. Just do what needs to be done to yourself, for yourself.
For yourself. Because the kingdom of heaven is where?
Within me.
You see, it's all there. It's all there. And yet we haven't expanded enough. Okay? So I'm, yes, ma'am.
Ending on a positive note, the words would be,
Yeah.
You are a child of God,
I am.
innately, spiritually able to create the world around you. Create that world with love. Because love is the creative energy of the universe. Anything else is not.
Remember.
Amen. Amen.